1 year ago today, at this time, I was waiting at this bus stop to go to work. I worked at a bar. Essentially a sports bar, but also craft brewery kind of deal. And I was not in a good space. I was shaking. And the reason I was shaking was because I was in alcohol withdrawal. I went into work that day, and to stop the shaking, I drank a shot of vodka. And I kept myself through the shift. I was okay. My shift was only about a 3-hour shift. I was fine. I sat down at the end of that shift and drank at the bar for hours and hours and hours. I probably had about 10 to 12 standard drinks in the first 2 hours, and then another 5 or 6 after. Oh, like 18 standard drinks, which, that's a binge. But really, it's more than a binge. It was part of a 72-hour bender that had started on Thursday night or Friday night after my shift, the bender started. I went into I went into school the following day shaking because I was in withdrawal. It was not good. I went through my classes. I started in my writing class. It was fine. Then I had my hour break where I had tea with 2 of my mentors, which was great. I also had an orange, which was yummy. Then I went to children's literature, which was fine. Then I went to Intro to Literature, where we were reading Elizabeth Bishop poetry, which was absolutely great. I actually really enjoy Elizabeth Bishop. Then I went to Chaucer, where the symptoms were getting bad. Really, really bad. Which was not fun, because nobody else in the class did the readings. So the professor and I were discussing things, including we were comparing some stuff in the Canterbury Tales to the Song of Roland. I was the only one in that class other than her who'd read it, because we'd read it as a class together in medieval literature the year before, or the semester before. So, we're thinking about all that. I go to work, still shaking, getting nervous, lots of bad things happening. Eventually the manager says something that ticks me off, so I quit. I just walk out and leave. Well, that was where I did all of my drinking. So it was not my choice to quit drinking at that point. It was my choice to quit the job, which cut off my access to alcohol. What I should have done at that point was gone to the emergency room. Instead, I just went through the following 48 hours, 72 hours by drinking a lot of Gatorade, Propel, water, stuff like that. I was hallucinating things. I had olfactory hallucinations, visual hallucinations, tactile hallucinations, auditory hallucinations. I don't think I tasted things that weren't there, but I don't quite fully remember that. So, since that day, I haven't had any alcohol, which means that I've been sober for a year, which I had thought about having more alcohol afterwards because I was in active addiction, which is not fun. Active addiction is not fun. It means that you go out of your way to seek out the substance, which I was doing with the alcohol. I would go to Sabres games, and I would be more focused on how much I could drink than the game, or how much I could drink after the game. I would get absolutely hammered. There was a day at work I spent over $120 on alcohol. We got a discount. Now, what I did, the way I quit alcohol is not correct. I could have died. I should have gone and seen medical personnel and gone through a medical detox. Thankfully, I was able to get through it, and we just did some recent blood work for my physical this December. My liver enzymes are normal. My cholesterol's LDL is 86. You want it to be under 70, but for somebody my age, under 100 is okay. We also knew that it was going to be in flux because I'm changing my diet from including a lot of red meat to almost no red meat. So we're happy with that. My liver enzymes are normal, not elevated. All of my other biomarkers, except for iron, are normal. We're treating the low iron anemia. Obviously, since it's been a year since I quit drinking, we don't think that the low iron anemia was fully caused by the drinking. But what we can tell you is that it was definitely exacerbated by it. Now, could I have another sip of alcohol? Probably. Do I want another sip of alcohol? No. Now, if I wanted another sip of alcohol and just went and had a drink or two, that would probably be okay. I probably wouldn't get re-addicted to it. But I don't want it because ethanol, which is ethyl alcohol, your beer, your Blue Light, ethyl alcohol in it, is ethanol. I went to the gas station the other day I was just on the way there. I was walking and I needed a drink. So I grabbed a soda and I smelled the gas, which has E85 or ethanol 85. And it made me gag because I was like, this reminds me of horrible things. Now, the worst part about this is my birthday is April 8th, so in 6 days. This year it's the eclipse. But the worst part about this is I had been planning on getting so drunk that I got arrested at a TGI Fridays last year for my birthday. Instead, I stayed in my house miserable. I had pizza and chicken wings, which is fine, and an ice cream cake, but that's what I have had every year since I was like 6. No alcohol. And there won't be any alcohol this year, but we are celebrating on the 7th instead of the 8th, because on the 8th we'll be doing eclipse stuff all over the place. If you choose to drink alcohol, that's your prerogative. If you become addicted to alcohol and don't want treatment, that's your prerogative. If you become addicted to alcohol and want treatment, that's your prerogative. If you're addicted to alcohol now and you're thinking maybe I want treatment in the future, but I don't think it's possible, it's definitely possible. Being sober is possible.